Hello, everyone. I'm Rob Smith of the In the Black Quant Edge VTF here at T3 Live with this week's market wrap up and end of the month. And what a beautiful month it was. Let's take a look at here. You've heard me talk about a momentum hammer, and that's what we got. Momentum hammer, and a good momentum hammer goes out on the highs, and that's what we did right here in the SPY. Takes it up. And so, anytime you're looking at a longer term chart, you start there and you can break it down. Why would we stay up here like this? And I'll show you. If you remember the old Brexit, here's what's going on. All right. So remember, we have the Brexit. We had a lot of people saying the Brexit was going to cause the end of the world, and for all it does is force into the broadening formation and come back up here. But you have to remember, anybody who caught that Brexit short from here, all right, and got it down in here, there's a lot of people not covering, getting back in, shorting more, right? And so if you didn't cover down in here and you're a big player, this is a very swift move. And this was a very brief amount of time to try and cover during this. And if you didn't and were betting on the third lower high here, you got screwed real hard up in here. So right here, underlying bid of guys trying to unwind anybody who got short within this whole series here waiting for this Brexit. And that's when you get this real stagnation underlying bid here, and why we look for momentum hammers when things are going. And so if you thought the market was going to roll over, you're dead wrong. And so we got a few things going forward, but another thing that happened this week that was important was UVXY reverse split, and we look forward to this and have a barbecue for the reverse split of UVXY, and VXX is going to reverse split coming up here August 8th. We want to know about that. UVXY reverse split on Monday, and off the highs of Monday or so, or Tuesday here, a loss of 20%. And so if you're not getting involved in stuff like this, you should be, because they're decaying assets. And so if you look at, like I get up early in the morning and I'll watch the Worldwide Exchange a little bit before a Squawk Box on CNBC, and I'll see Becky and Joe, and they'll be talking to some guy, oh, Google, and I think the market, and all this blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, if you look at below them, I'm always like going, Joe, look down. The tape is just going VXX, 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 VXX. Why? Because people who know what they're doing know that this thing's going to decay and is just getting killed. It went to new all-time lows today, and now we're going to have a reverse split, and we're looking forward to that, as we always do. If we took a look at SVXY here, SVXY actually stays inside month, which is good. If we try and see if you can see this larger broadening formation here to get through here. And so oftentimes people are, the misconception is that, the VIX and the VIX products are going to go counter to the market. Well, it's not that the VIX products hate down markets. They hate contango in the options. And when that happens and you stagnate in the SPY like this, and and the contango is hard in the options here, you get the SVXY to start ripping like this. And so people are like, how come it's not ripping with the market? I'm like, hold on a second. Whoosh. So some real good stuff there. So another thing a good thing about when you hit a real range like this, that's the SPY's not doing much. It's not backing off. It's not ripping either. But it's not this tight range we've had for so long. The good thing about that is that during the day, oftentimes it makes it easier to discern the natural buyers and sellers and where you want to be. And so even if you, instead of trying to top tick this market that obviously isn't going down, there's stuff like the home builders all day long, puke, right? And they came out pretty fast here, but you're looking for something like this, right? And why? Because at this point, it's down on the week, right? And it's red on the day. And anytime it's red on the 60, we're looking for things that are going down, and that's how we can define it. McDonald's, look at this, going down all week. How's the week? Gap and go to the downside. We had Western Digital today, was nice too, and just boom, right? Gap down, span, gap, and go. And that's why I tweet out the gap list. So in the morning, I tweet out a list called Mind the Gap, hashtag Mind the Gap, and my Twitter is at Robin the Black if you want to check that out, because that's your go-tos in the morning. I also make a more extensive video on the weekends if you don't watch that. I tweet it out. I also put it on my YouTube, Smiths in the Black, all one word on YouTube if you want to watch that. So another good thing we had was some volatility on the Gapper list is McRib. The Sears Therapeutics is getting taken to the woodshed here. However, it rallied back, and all you had to do here was wait for the opening hour. It forms this equilibrium inside bar. Let's blow that thing up a little bit more. This and right here. Let's see, was it a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Let's go 13 so you can see that a little more clearly. How about that? You see this? inside 30 right here. Top of the inside 30, 886. Didn't make a lower high on the 30 until 1090. And then at that time, because this has so much volatility baked into this thing from the big dumper, if you go back to the fivers, once it started going, sorry, these gappers can mess you up a little bit. And almost. There we go. Once she started moving, goes up, goes inside 5, dump here, and then this inside 5 within the realm of the uptrend here, inside 5 and up at 986. No lower low here until it went inside 5 where you could have reversed here at 1166. People trading this all day long. And then another inside 5 continuation here. There's so many good moves in there. Other things we're looking at over the course of the month, we had that XME going inside month and up here. And looking for that, remember we had that hammer at the beginning of the year and came out gangbusters in these commodities. And then this sideways action, and then inside month, straight break to the upside, it broke and never came back, never was really challenged. And so what I look for in there is the combination stuff. So letter X, inside month and up. And so it does something similar. It goes up, corrective action, inside, and then off to the races. And then this week, it forms this inside bar momentum hammer right here. So it's an inside bar equilibrium. And they tried to hit it and couldn't get it done, much like the monthly on the SPY, momentum hammer. This is combining with the inside month and up. Real good chance that's going up, and it certainly did. So letter X is real good as well. So then the question comes down to going forward here. What do we got coming up for August, where people say, oh, the Qs, oh, these things overbought or whatever you want to make up in your mind. And the SPY going out on the highs here, and another weekly momentum hammer if we want to keep going. But you want to look through there, and so what do we see? Is everything blown out? And by blown out, I'm seeing there's no equilibriums, there's no inside bars, nothing. Just everybody got taken out. But because of this action, that's not true. And so if we take a look at the monthlies here, we still have equilibriums that have formed, especially in the Earl patch. XOP is an inside month. You've got XLE as an inside month, OIH. And so if we take a look at the crude oil itself, the market went up while crude's doing this. And remember how we used to follow oil? We ain't following oil. Now the question is, what happens if oil starts rallying back and you get all these inside month breaks and all these energies, as well as we now have potential rate hike on the table. Yeah, right. But FAS is inside month. Here, KRE is inside month. XLF is inside month. And so when you whiff of a rate hike, you've got Citicorp inside month. You've got Bank of America inside month. You got JP Morgan. JP Morgan. You got Visa. All this stuff going inside in the insurance names. You got Pru and Met. PNC is in the KRE there, a regional bank, all that stuff. And so we want to see how that breaks. If we take a look at the small cap finally made that higher high I've been talking about. We had that third series and then down in here challenged it. Now it makes the higher high out of that. So we want to see if that is strong enough to go challenge the highs out of here. No actionable signal to do it, but if we look at IBB had the strong month, and this thing nowhere near the highs. And so the question is still going to be, is this the series of lower highs and it rolls back down and pukes, or is it finally coming up here to try and challenge this stuff, which is a heck of a move in and of itself? If you take a look at the XRT retail, this thing's nowhere near the highs either. And so if this thing starts to take out all this business in here, still more fuel for the fire. And if you go to the trannies really nowhere near the highs. And so all these groups are going to be either hindrances and say that these are the things that can't go when the market goes, or going to help things go. So you got in the airlines, you got Delta, you got Southwest Air, even though a tank stayed inside month. So it's a couple other things. You got Tesla stays inside month in the middle of the range. You got VRX stays as an inside month. You have Palo Alto. And just like the momentum hammers on the upside, you got CF going momentum shooter on the downside if they want to put her out of her misery. So I go into a lot more detail over the weekend, but for right now, we had a momentum hammer month. It was absolutely gorgeous. We got a reverse split that does its job for UVXY. Absolutely gorgeous. And so all these parts are what's really going to make a difference coming into August. So I hope everybody had a great month and has a real good weekend. I'm Rob Smith of the In the Black Quant Edge VTF here at T3 Live with this week's Market Wrap-Up.